So finding a nice, comfortable seat. Go ahead and scoot forward in your chair just a little bit, unless you are feeling particularly like sleepy this afternoon, in which case it might actually feel better to kind of lay back. You could even tuck your chin. So almost more like a little mini shavasana. Maybe you let your arms relax. In fact, we never do this. Let's all start here. So it's going to feel kind of, a little bit ugly, frankly. That's okay. But try to find a place where it feels somewhat comfortable. And just kind of, lounging in your chair. You might even have your knees knocking into each other. You could take your feet wide. So it'd be like our constructive rest pose back in the day when we used to meet in person. And could start laying down. And let's go ahead and find a nice, smooth, deep inhale here. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And again, smooth, deep, full inhale. And notice how it feels different when you're kind of like lazy like this, when you're not sitting tall. Might not feel like you're taking in much air at all. So just observing that. And then you can let the breath go. And then do like 3 or 4 more rounds on your own. With each sigh, you're just letting the to-do list go, the week so far go, the week ahead go. So all of the things that you might be worried about, that you might need to get done, just give yourself permission to put that all aside for the next hour. It will be there. You'll get to it. Right now, though, we're going to take this opportunity to start to pay more attention to our breath and to our body, those physical sensations. We're going to pay a little more attention to our headspace. Maybe see if we can shift some of these things. As you're starting to find your Ujjayi breath, if you want to sort of like lean one ear to a shoulder and then the other, you could even kind of do these little half circles. That feels good. And it might not in this configuration. So you're really listening to your body. It just feels better to, kind of be slouching with your chin forward. You can find that. I'm just going to be here another moment or two. Again, really starting to hook up your Ujjayi breath. You might even be inhaling to the count of 5 or 6 or 7, and then exhaling to that same count. Good. So nice, smooth, deep inhale here together. Again, open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. And then you can blink your eyes open here, and let's stay sort of scrunchy, almost like the scaredy cat position, but start to rock forward, and maybe you walk your feet so they're about hip distance apart, and then just fold forward. So coming into an early Uttanasana, if this isn't feeling good, hands can be on blocks. You could also just take your hands to your thighs. But again, really try to drop your chin towards your chest. Feel a little length in the back of your neck. So we're using gravity to help traction the spine here. And believe it or not, it seems like this is pretty easy, but these forward folds, especially the first couple of the day, can be quite intense. So you might be feeling a little bit of that. Do less if you need to. And then moving nice and slow, we're slowly going to start to either roll on up, maybe use your hands to help you press on up. And you might find that you get a little head rush coming up. So take as long as you need to sort of adjust your gaze. And then let's go ahead and start to move into the shoulders. So you're rolling them back. Sitting a little taller here. So we're feeling those sit bones press. We're feeling the feet press down. That anchoring down sensation helps us to elongate through the sides of our waist. And then not only are these shoulder rolls getting into that shoulder girdle, kind of getting the blood moving, it's also starting to create a little stretch across the chest, the pectoral muscles. A little more of a back bend feeling as opposed to that forward fold that we just did. Let's roll forward. So again, I find when I start doing this rolling forward action, you almost get a little more of that cat stretch. Roll back a couple more times. And then allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. Take your hands to your thighs and let's move into our cat-cow. So you're going to inhale, rock forward on your sit bones. Elbows are squeezing in slightly towards your waist. Exhale, rock to the backs of your sit bones, chin to chest, classic cat stretch. Inhale into this cow pose. Exhale, round in. And then really pay attention to your breath again. Your breath is your metronome. It's your rhythm section here. So the breath is the piece that weaves all of these poses together. The breath helps to create heat in our body, which is nice. It helps to warm us up so we can move into the poses a little deeper. The breath gives us something to focus on, our attention. It also helps to quiet the mind a little bit. So it has this very beautiful meditative quality. You can almost visualize the breath creating space inside your body. You're using the breath to comb out any tangles you might be feeling. Let's do a few more rounds here, just enjoying how this feels as you begin to open up your spine. Let's inhale back to our nice tall seat. Good. You can peek down at your feet. Make sure that they are indeed about hips distance apart. Your ankles are landing underneath your knees. See if you can find a little more length through the sides of your waist as you inhale. So sitting nice and tall. So simple pose, not an easy pose being here. There's actually a lot going on, a lot of core work happening. Good. So let's keep this tall seat, but let's go ahead and exhale. Drop our chin towards our chest again. We've already been here, but it might feel a little different sitting with this nice tall spine. In fact, you might notice that those muscles in the back of your neck are contracting a little more. So you're not dropping the chin quite as far. And again, visualize your breath going to those places in the back of your neck that are a little tighter, a little more tender. Inhale, bring your chin parallel to the floor. Exhale, drop that right ear, towards your right shoulder. And if you're like me, you're getting a pretty big sensation in that left side of the neck, top of the shoulder. back of the shoulder blade. It's always so interesting, like how different we feel day to day. Even practicing yoga different times during the day, in the mornings we tend to be a little tighter. Afternoon, we've moved around a little bit. So even though we're doing the same poses over and over, things are always a little different. And I think that's part of what keeps our yoga practice so engaging, so interesting. Let's inhale back to center. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop that left ear towards your left shoulder. And you're going to get curious about how this side feels different in your body. You're going to send your breath to the places that are tight. And you're also just going to be good with where you're at. Knowing that as we continue to move and work here together, things are going to shift, even if it's really subtle. So let's inhale to center. And today, let's just go side to side. So exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Good, inhale, center. So let's just do that a few times. Exhale. And you can certainly move at a different pace if your breath is feeling a little different for you today. If it's not matching mine. Kind of a little free-form neck stretching, warming up here. Moving with the breath. And then let's say the next time that your right ear is dropping towards your right shoulder, you're going to hang there, but you can also start to tuck your chin a little bit. And again, you're going to notice how that shifts where you're getting sensation in your body. Keep that breath moving, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. Good, chin lifts, inhale to center. And then exhale, drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then find that little tuck at the chin. Keep the breath moving. Always back out a little bit if you need to. I'm a big fan of doing less. Sometimes a little less is exactly what we need, and it actually allows us to do more than we think we can. Maybe notice here if there's any tension in your face and jaw. So this neck shoulder stretching can be quite intense. As such, we can sometimes, kind of grind the jaw a little bit, grit our teeth. If that's happening to you, see if you can soften. And then let's gently lift the chin, untuck, and then come back to center. And then from here, let's just start to rock around that pelvic girdle. So just making some circles here. They can be big, they can be small. Really make this your own. Let it feel good. And this is going to be, for all of us, it's going to be targeting different areas. You're going to feel it in different places in your body. For a lot of us, it's going to be in the hips, the lower back. You might be feeling this in your shoulders and neck as well. And just kind of observing the sensations that you're getting. And you can start to switch directions. I become very aware of that play that happens with my sit bones when I'm doing this. So one gets lighter as your upper body is moving in the opposite direction. So maybe get curious about that. Really nice. You can start to make these circles in this direction a little bit smaller. And again, just finding our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Sitting tall. And then let's go ahead and get into the fingers and the toes a little bit today. It's been a while since we've done that, and that can always feel really nice. So you can go ahead and reach your right hand forward. You're going to just use your left hand to pull back on each finger. And you get to control this. So for a lot of us, this is actually really, really intense. You can also feel it in the forearm. We spend a lot of time on our devices, at the keyboard. It's always kind of nice to stretch the hands out. This is something that you can do at home when you think about it. A little mini yoga hand session. And side to side, you might notice that it's quite different, just like many things in our bodies, especially if you're right-handed, you're probably going to be a little tighter there. Ooh. Good. And then when you're done, you can just give your hands, your wrists, your arms a little shake out. Welcome, Scott. And then let's go ahead and just take the arms out wide and point your fingers up towards the ceiling. And this is a surprisingly vigorous stretch in like this armpit chest area. And you might be feeling it in the lower arm, elbow. Notice if you've started to hold your breath because this is rather intense. Keep that breath moving. And then let's release the fingers down and then kind of roll them into the wrist. And that's going to get into some different places. And then start to make some circles in one direction. And then you can move in the opposite direction. And I don't know about you all, but I'm also feeling a little heat in my shoulders and my upper arms. So let's go ahead and release down. Sigh of relief. Find your Tadasana. Just take a couple of breaths here. All right. So just for good measure, let's go ahead and inhale. Stretch the right arm up. So palm is facing in towards your cheek. And then spin that palm to face behind you. You can use your left hand to help you accentuate that. Bend your right elbow. And then you can take your left hand on top of that elbow, apply a little pressure, and then we're getting this nice stretch in the upper arm. I'm still sitting tall here, still feeling those sit bones root down into your chair. Your feet root down into the floor. Good. So from here, let's keep the arms in this configuration, but as you exhale, side bend to the left. That right sit bone might pop up off your chair a little bit. That's okay. We're compressing this left side of our waist, but we're getting this nice stretch to the right side. Maybe you're rolling those left ribs slightly up towards the ceiling. And then let's just release this left arm down by our side. Extend that right arm up and overhead. Maybe you start to look up underneath that right arm. Breath smooth and steady. Here we go. We inhale back up to our Tadasana. Couple breaths here in mountain pose. It's like our home base before we take that arm stretch into the second side. And it bears repeating. As you know, you can modify if a particular stretch isn't working for you or feeling good, you can skip things. We're going to inhale, lift this left arm. So palm is facing in, but then spin that palm to face behind you. Very nice. Bend the elbow. And then you can take that right hand on top of the elbow. Apply a little pressure. Maybe you don't need to apply any pressure. And you're paying attention to the sensation that you're getting on this left side of your elbow and this shoulder and this arm. How is it different than the other side? Feel your sit bones rooting. Feel your feet rooting down. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as we exhale, we side bend to the right. We get that nice stretch through the left side body. Go ahead and release your right arm down. Find extension at that left elbow. Feel a little wrapping of these right ribs up towards the ceiling. Maybe you're gazing up underneath your top arm. Feel a deep inhale. And then exhale. Go ahead and release there. All right, so let's come into a little bit of a hip opener. So side to side and with the option to kind of stretch out the toes a little bit as well. So you might find more of a warrior two situation. So just extending or opening up this right thigh any amount, just, going to that place where you feel a little stretch. This version, in addition to getting into the outer hip area, you're going to also probably feel a little more stretch on the inseam of the leg. So if that's something that you're looking for today, this is a good variation. Otherwise, you are welcome to cross your right ankle over your left knee. And then let's just hang out here for several breaths before we move any further. Depending upon what's going on in your body, you might use the strength of your right arm to press that right thigh down towards the floor a little bit. And if you're getting any sensation in your knee, definitely make sure that you're flexing your right foot. That's going to help to engage the muscles around the knee. It's going to help to protect that joint. And it also it might mean that you shouldn't be pressing down. If you are in the warrior two leg version, of course, you can be pressing your right hand into your upper thigh. So kind of pressing back towards the wall behind you. It's going to accomplish some of the same actions. And then perhaps you're going to take your left hand, weave it between your toes. I actually find this to be quite intense and challenging. So it's almost like you're, it's like one of those pedicure toe spreaders. You're just, doing it with your left hand. And then you can physically use your hand to help circle out that ankle. And again, if this isn't working for you and your body for whatever reason, you're just skipping it, you're doing something else that feels good. Let's switch directions. And then maybe kind of pull back with that left hand. So stretching the front of this right ankle. And you're breathing, particularly if this is intense. I don't know about y'all, but it's the fingers between the toes that's particularly intense for me today. And then let's go in the opposite direction. It's almost like you're standing on your foot. And press that left palm into those toes. And then just a few times, let's just go back and forth like that. So finding that flexion and extension at that ankle joint. Really nice. Okay, so let's just come back to a neutral place and let's find just a simple twist here. So inhale, stretch your arms out, and you can do this if you're in the warrior two legs as well. As you exhale, twists to the right. Really extend out through your fingertips. Try to keep your spine nice and long. And then you're going to release your hands down. So right hand will reach behind you. Left hand can go a lot of different places. It could be anywhere on this right shin if you're doing this variation. It might come to the outside of that right thigh if you're a little more flexible in your spine in this direction. And the same is true these warrior two legs. It's going to look a little bit different for all of us. So you're just finding your sweet spot. And you're thinking cobra pose in the upper body. So that lift of the sternum, that openness across your heart and chest. Find lots of elongation on your inhale. As you exhale and empty out, perhaps it feels as though you can twist in like a millimeter more. And even if that's just a thought, it counts. Let's take one more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, you unwind. And then we're going to make our way back to our home base, Tadasana, mountain pose, and we'll move into our second side, which might look different than the other side. So you might be doing a different variation than what you did on the first side. That is absolutely fine. So again, looking for the external rotation in the leg, especially if you're wanting to like stretch the inseam of the leg a little more, or you might be crossing that left ankle over your right knee. So right away, assessing the situation in your body. How does this side feel different? Do you need to give yourself a little more? If that's you, perhaps you're pressing down into that left thigh or pressing back with your left hand. Make sure that your breath is still smooth and steady. Just finding this nice hip stretch, which can be very intense. So either staying here where you're at, if that feels adequate for you today, if you're wanting to explore kind of stretching out the toes a little bit, can weave your fingers between your toes. I don't know why that's so hard, but it's pretty hard. So spreading those toes feels intense, but it's good to do. Take breaks if you need to. And just kind of finding that full range of motion as you begin to make some circles. And then you can start to switch directions. I'm sitting here just thinking how much we take our bodies for granted. They're really amazing what they do. Like you think of our feet and all of the things they navigate all day long, and it's all tied together. Beautiful. Okay, so let's come back to center, and then we're going to find that extension. So it's as though you're on point. You might be getting a nice stretch all the way up. You might not be. So again, we're all built different. Our bones are different. How long our limbs are, all of this, factors into how we feel poses, how we feel the stretches. And as long as you're feeling a little something, you're doing it right. Okay, let's go in the opposite direction. So finding that flexion of the foot. And most of us do spend, some time in flexion, a lot of our time in flexion. And then just back and forth. You can just turn this into a little mini vinyasa, connecting movement with breath. It's very similar to like sort of the simple work that we do with our neck and shoulder stretching. We're going to think of our ankle, our foot here is the neck of the leg, I guess. Right. So go ahead and just release. Take a couple of breaths in your hip opener. And then we twist to our second side. So inhale, stretch the arms out wide. As you exhale, twist to the left. Couple of breaths here. You will eventually release your hands down. Again, so many different places you can be with this. It depends on how your body is feeling right now at this point in time, on this day. Side to side, it can be so different. I think sometimes we can get really caught up on the idea that things need to be so equal side to side. And sure, we absolutely want to move in that direction, but sometimes it's just not happening, and that's all right. Again, as long as you're getting some sensation for your body, that's where you need to be. Perhaps you're beginning to bring your gaze out over the left shoulder if that feels okay in your neck. Good. A deep inhale here. And exhale, unwind, come to center. Go ahead and find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And let's just flow a little bit. So we've kind of opened some things up. Let's just move into our Ardha Surya Namaskaras. So if you do have blocks at home and you like to practice with these, This is a great opportunity to set them up by your feet if you haven't already. If you don't have blocks, no big deal. If you're watching this on YouTube, they're not necessary. They can be nice, but can certainly work without them. So make any little adjustments that you need here. Let's all just peek down at our feet again. Make sure that our knees are landing over our ankles so we have that nice alignment. Legs are about hips distance apart. You can feel those sit bones really pressing down. Release your arms by your sides. So you're sitting nice and tall. Good. You're feeling this openness across your heart and chest. These look beautiful. From here, we're going to inhale. You can either take your arms out wide or you could stretch your arms forward and up. Let's just hold for a few breaths here. Perhaps you're starting to bring your gaze up. And again, you're feeling that lift of your sternum. You might even press palms together. A lot of that's dictated by shoulder flexibility. So if it doesn't feel good, you don't do it. From here, we're going to come into our forward fold. You might take your arms out wide and swan dive in. You might feel like you need a little assistance rolling down so hands can come to your legs. Your blocks could be under your hands here. Maybe your fingertips are grazing the floor. Feel your chin drop towards your chest. How is this forward fold feeling different now that we're, more than halfway through class? We're warm. From here, hands might come to your blocks or your shins or your thighs. And then you lengthen through the sides of your waist. Your gaze comes forward. It's like you're at the edge of a cliff, peeking over, but you want a little weight in the back of your body so you don't fall over. You're getting lots of extension. This is the back bend portion. These look fantastic. We're going to exhale, fold back in. So chin releasing towards chest, lengthening the spine, finding that traction. And then from here, we're going to make our way back into our extended mountain pose. So that could look like a reverse swan dive in your body. It's going to require a little core work, or you might be using your hands to help you roll on up and then stretching the arms up overhead. So the beautiful thing about these sun salutes is that we can really mix and match. We have lots of variations. Good. As we exhale, your hands can come to heart center, or sometimes it feels good to take them out wide and then come to heart center. We're back at home base. This time we're going to connect it all together. One movement per breath. Exhale, release your arms by your sides. Palms spin open. Inhale. Reaching up, Utthita Hastasana into Tadasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold back into your Uttanasana. And then rooting down to rise on up, whatever that looks like in your body, maybe gazing up, pressing palms. Exhale, palms towards heart center. And here we go again. So inhale, reaching. Exhaling, folding in. Let these feel so graceful and spacious. Inhale, you lengthen forward. Exhale, we fold back in. And then rooting down to help us rise up, find that extension, that length. And exhale, back to center we go. So we're going to do 3 more of these. I'm not going to cue you. You can follow along with me. Maybe you want to stretch the breath out a little more today and move really, really slow. You're welcome to do that. Maybe you want to move a little faster, build a little more heat. maybe you just want to sit quietly. That is also an option. If these sun salutes feel like too much, you could do just basic cat-cow. So really customize this right now. Make it your own. Enjoy how it feels to flow here. It's like good yoga medicine. These sun salutes to me, they're like, you know, the simple things in life that are so good. So feel very grateful that you know how to do these and to tap into this feeling anytime you want to. If only everybody had this. Share it with your friends and family. I'm enjoying this so much, I've sort of lost count. I think I've only done 2. I may have done 3. This happens sometimes in these sun salutes, and I think it's a good thing. So if you're feeling the same, go ahead and do one more. An extra sun salute. Never hurt anyone. Beautiful. And when you have completed your last round, land with your palms together at your heart and allow your eyelids to close. And then just take stock here. How do you feel? It'd be a lot of different things. Some heat, some joy. You might feel your heart beating a little bit faster. And soak all of this up. Blink your eyes open. You can release your hands down to your thighs. Let's move into some breath work, some pranayama before we come into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So since we've done some like finger stretching today, let's go ahead and move into our alternate nostril breathing. So let's just do a little more finger opening. So you can do some little hand pops here, little jazz hands. And then maybe it's kind of like you're trying to curl sand up. Yeah. Yes. I like it, Jim. Looks good. Okay. So we'll do both sides today. And just to mix it up, because we can, let's start with our left hand. Let's just, you know, buck the yoga alternate nostril breathing system. Y'all can report me to the proper yoga authorities. All right, so right hand can just be on that right thigh. As you know, we're not going to get like too wrapped around the axle about what this looks like. We are pinching our nostrils. You might be doing that with your thumb and index finger. If you're looking for more of the classic mudra situation, you're going to bend your second and third finger in. That just feels really weird and hard to do for some of us. So again, not necessary. Same idea. Find that bony part of your nose, however you're navigating this. The other thing that likes to happen here is elbow likes to lift. So you're just going to be mindful that you keep shoulder blades releasing down. So lower your fingers to that softer part of your nose. And this is where you're going to press from side to side. So allow your eyelids to close here. Inhale through both nostrils. And full complete exhale through both nostrils. And let's block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Good. Block right, exhale left. Release your left hand down. Inhale through both nostrils. Exhale through both nostrils. And then let's set up that right side. So it could look different than the left side. So you just find the finger position that works for you. Let that elbow relax down. Inhaling through both nostrils. Exhaling through both nostrils. Good. Block left. Inhale right. Good. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Release that right hand down. Inhale through both nostrils. And exhale through both nostrils. And then just notice how you're feeling here. we move to some form of shavasana. So you might just stay exactly as you are in this quiet meditation. You could take a forward fold. That's really nice if you have like an extra chair or table in front of you. You could come into classic shavasana, laying down on the floor. You could take more of that slouchy position that we had in our chair at the beginning of class. So lots of different places you can go. You choose the one that feels best for you and that allows you to get really still, to just soak up the benefits of the work we've done together, and help us to transition from our yoga practice into the rest of the day ahead. We're just going to be here nice and quiet for a few moments. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. Next inhale is deeper. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And start to bring some gentle movement back to your body. Wiggle fingers, toes, circle ankles, wrists, stretch. Any movement that feels good here. Eventually landing with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude. Send your body love and gratitude. We send each other love and gratitude. It's always such a gift to be able to meet together, to practice our yoga together. Just promise yourself that you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week, weekend ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Terrific work today. Thank you, everybody.